Hey guys, it's Alicia. Today I am going to be trying out a new recipe, and that is for one skillet sausage pasta. Now I saw this recipe and it looked delicious, and I don't know about you guys, but I love one skillet recipes because not only are they typically pretty easy, they are less dishes because you're just using one skillet. So when I saw this, I knew I wanted to try it. I will link the recipe down below that I am following. I'm going to be making just a couple little changes to it, but I'll link the one that I'm following. So what you're gonna need to make this is, first off, I'm using some of this turkey Polska Kielbasa. I absolutely love this stuff. I get it at Aldi. And so when I saw this recipe and realized I could use this in that, that was another reason why I wanted to try it out, because I just love this stuff. It is very, very good. And it's not the lowest in points, but it's not super high either. So I'm using this, which is 13 ounces. Next, I've got a medium-sized red onion that I've chopped up. Here, I've got a can of Rotel. Here is 1.5 cups of 1% milk. I believe the recipe calls for skim, but there's only a point difference, so I'm using 1%. That is 3/4 cup chicken broth. And then here, I'm gonna be using 1.5 cups of this Mexican style shredded cheese. It's reduced fat. It's a 40% reduced fat cheese. And this is probably my favorite cheese that I use. The recipe, I believe, calls for Colby Jack or something. I don't know. It calls for a different type of cheese, but this is the one that I'm gonna be using. And then here, I'm gonna be using 1/2 box of this whole grain pasta penne. So this is 16-ounce box, so it's going to be 8 ounces or 3 cups. I'm also going to be using a little bit of minced garlic and then a little bit of fresh ground pepper. And that is all that is going to be in this. First thing you're going to want to do is chop up your kielbasa. So I'm going to do that real quick. And then just cutting this into fairly thin slices. Okay, I've got that all chopped up. Now I'm going to take it over to my pan. So I've got my pan here on a medium-high heat. I'm going to add in my kielbasa and also my chopped onion. And then I'm going to add a little fresh ground black pepper to this. So I'm gonna just cook this in here until those onions start to soften and that kielbasa starts to brown just a little bit. So just a few minutes. That is looking good. So now I'm gonna add in a little bit of garlic. And I'm gonna let this cook in here for a minute or two until it is fragrant. All right, now I'm gonna add in my Rotel, my chicken broth, milk, and my 1/2 box or 3 cups of pasta. And now I'm gonna just stir all this together real well. And I'm gonna let this come to a boil. Okay, this is starting to boil, so I'm gonna turn the heat down to low. And then I'm gonna put a lid on this and let this continue to simmer and cook until that pasta is soft. So about 8 to 10 minutes. I've let this cook for 10 minutes. It is looking good. That pasta has softened up. And so now I'm gonna add in my 1.5 cups of cheese and stir that in. And now it says to let this stand for 5 minutes or so to thicken up. Okay, here I've got some dished up. Now I measured that out to see how much that made because I don't think it said on the recipe. And I got just over 8 kind of heaping cups of this. So if you do kind of a heaping cup serving size then that's gonna make this 8 points on the green. I'll have to go double check and see what it is on the blue and purple, but it is 8 points on the green. Now this stuff smells amazing. I'm gonna see if I can get my hubby to try it and let us know what he thinks of it, but it smells really, really good. And it was very, very easy to make, so I do like that about it. Maybe a little high on the points, but we'll see what it tastes like. Oh, and I forgot to say, I had a little bit of green onions on the top of mine, just cause I love green onions. Okay, my dusty hubby is here from the shop to try. What do you think of what it smells like, first off?
It smells good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real pleasant. That's kielbasa, right?
Yeah.
The kielbasa, you know, it's not overpowering, but it's a very strong flavor, which is good. And then everything else is just real light, you know, light. And there's I'm probably not explaining it well. So there is a little bit of a richness to it because there's a cream sauce, right?
Well, it was milk and chicken broth.
Yeah, you know, so it's not real heavy. It's just a nice little layer. But mainly you get the kielbasa and just the lightness with the pasta. Or those red peppers.
That is Rotel. That's in there.
Kind of a sweet element with the peppers. No, it's really good.
Tomatoes, yes.
I would say a touch of salt, which always throws you for a loop because
Yes.
we're so anti-salt.
And that's the thing. And the recipe actually didn't call for salt. Didn't call for pepper either. I peppered it.
Definitely want to, I mean, just a touch of salt.
And I thought with the chicken broth that it wouldn't necessarily need the salt, but okay. So
Yeah, really good.
add a little salt and that would help things. Okay. All right. I do think that's a little high, honestly, because I know I've got some other ones that I make that are maybe a little high too, but I think the serving size is bigger than that. That's just over a cup of a serving size. Is not a whole lot. You definitely would want to have this with something else like a veggie or whatever. But all right, that is one skillet sausage pasta. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.